good?
I don't know. I think it's... No. Nope. I don't know. Oh.
I think that's good, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say that's on it.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good there. Cool. Evening, Lee. How are we? Why is my phone doing that? I'm here, Lee. Just 1 second. Trying to sort this thing out. Some reason it's coming through on my phone. Nope, still coming through. Why is that doing that? Let's try again. And hopefully we get a better... Oh. Why is things got to be so difficult? Good evening, Steve. How are we? You'll have to just bear with me 1 sec. I'm just trying to sort out another camera so that we've got 2 cameras going. Yeah, all good. If I can get this to do what I want it to do. Right, let's try that. Oh, good evening, Greg. No, I'm still getting it on that instead. Why? Right, what we'll do is we'll try doing it this way then instead. Nope, there's an echo from that now. And now it's not giving me nothing. Can anyone else hear feedback or an echo? What is it? Now you probably will. Oh, evening, Diana. Oh, and hello, Tyler. Sorry, I didn't see you there as well. Why is it not coming through on my speaker? Ugh, so warm in here. All right, we'll try that. Are people getting an echo from me? Yeah, I can hear it this end. Heater going behind me as well. Right, is there still an echo? Yeah. Don't get why it's not commuting. What if we try it through this mic? Right, is that any better for people? I'm hoping then that's sorted it by the sounds of things. Well, I'll give everyone a second. Yeah, great. All right, give me 1 sec then. Grab a drink quick. From where?
That speaker over there.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Have you muted your phone? Is that speaker on? Move that speaker to over there. Might just have to do it no sound.
Right, I'm guessing everyone can hear me all right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right, so tonight with me at the minute, up until some of the other guys may join, we have one of Angel's friends, boys, joining us tonight, Theo. So he probably will be asking a few questions and stuff. So if I dawdle off or I don't answer, I will get back to you. So, as the title said for tonight, we are rehousing some balf, which I believe we've still got 12 in here. There's 3 in this one, and 2 in here. So we'll see how things go, really. We'll of course save the more exciting one till last. Yeah, that's on the screen. What we'll do then is we change that for the time being till we come to the bigger enclosure or someone else joins. Hopefully I'll be able to show you here not how to do things, and you know, everyone will learn from my mistakes.
The cobweb looks very fiery. It just looks like wool.
Well, I think I see 2 so far. Oh, and there's the 3rd one as well. Make life a little bit easier. So 1 so far. Yeah, you probably Annabelle's probably right there. We probably will get one at some point. Oh, little one. And just like that. All the webbing.
It looks like a scone.
I'll do it later. One little itty bitty one. And surprisingly, all 3 are different sizes. This one, that's it, is in premium. It's all for the greater cause.
How do you tell if it's in pre-malt?
you can kind of look at the abdomen there, and it's a bit shiny and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, different species would have different pre-molt things.
Mm.
Like brachypelmas, say for instance, they'll go like a beigeish, whitish colour, and then they'll go real dark and black. Right, so that was probably the easier one.
Ooh. You weren't lying when you said these were bolty. I think it would be easier though for the adults though, wouldn't it? Younger, faster rate? Or is
Not
it-
always.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Bit glitchy on the screen there, but easy enough for the one. Where the second one's going to be? I know what I'm missing. There I am, putting my big head in the way. I don't see no spider.
I reckon they're in there, in that little copper, like little gap.
There you go. Okay.
That's a big one. That second one. One's a bit bigger than the other. Got one
Mm.
little ones over there.
5 out of 5 so far.
Oh yeah.
Good evening, Amy.
Learn that. I learned that ants are threats as well. Attention.
You've got the sound on here.
Yeah, because it,
Won't go through that and go.
or there was just a continuous echo.
No, it's a tiny little spider. Muppet, get out. It's a tiny little spider. Look, there's something moving.
Yeah, it was a little.
There was a tiny little spider. The speck, like literally the tiniest little thing.
I'm surprised you saw it.
Don't go jinxing it already, will you, Annabelle?
Can't tell if the easy part is getting them in there or putting them in there.
So far, we have the 3 out of the little one, out of the one that we won from you originally. One I sent off to 4, and where I've never seen the 4th one. I'll check through it again, but unfortunately, we all know how communals can sometimes go. Hey, Stefan.
I can't see anything.
No. I set it to one side though, so.
I can see little moulds, but.
So yeah, Amy, you just missed like the smallest ones out of them all. Well, they are going off to a new home, yeah. So
That one's just getting ready to bolt. I think they all are. That's why they're all basically all on the wall.
what we do is we'll see if we get a view from both angles. So there should be in this one, build a mature male out already.
I see 1, 2, 3.
Which I see one male here.
There's one. Is that the male? I can't tell. There's a small one right there.
I don't know how well they'll come off camera. But there's one male.
So that we aim to get all the males out and put them in a container. But then put the other ones
I'm going to put the males into their own ones because I'm going to be sending some off to people.
Yeah, and put them on the same one. That one over. There's a mole.
Ah, evening, Acid Splash. So, like I say, this enclosure now, I believe, hasn't been touched for about 14 months, and they all went into it, and they centimetre, I believe, factory. So, apart from, 10 of them come from Tropical Factory, and 3 come from Creatures from the North. There's one running around down there. See if we can do a little bit of probing. Where'd you go?
Back through the other hole.
The wrong way, of course.
I went that way. Here's a big one.
Another mole. There's 2 moles there. Actually, no, 3. All these crunchy molts everywhere.
Got a leg attached to you.
And what do you mean by that, Rob?
Leg on your You got an extra leg there.
You have an extra spider there. Come on, Mr. Male. The second male.
And the little ones there. One's just chilling while the others.
It seems smooth enough so far, but I haven't actually started getting into substrate, so
There's another one.
Oh, look. A casual water dish.
Substrate dish. No.
I have to laugh on that in here, so.
Can't these like fight and kill each other or not?
No, these are what more of a communal spider. You can have them solo.
Because most spiders can't.
There is a risk of putting them
Yeah.
all together.
I'm surprised there's not a mole on that.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to a tank that I've built and put all together myself.
Having fun.
I love the males in this.
Is that all that's come out?
Yeah, so far just those two.
Oh, good. See you later. There's more than two.
Well, I think there's around about 5, so the rest are probably.
Just in case he starts dripping sweat on him, like they'll jump out and lump leap on his face.
Can't even remember how I set this enclosure up. That's the thing.
See how many mice are. And these two sizes are massive.
Just wait, you don't knock him. There's a towel there if you want.
There's another more.
And here's my them.
Wow, that's a lot of them. So that's 1, 2. Oh, there's so many in there. One there, one down there. Yeah, there's no down there. I was like, no, I'm trying to sleep.
And that's a third mature male.
There might be a fourth, because there's one right there, sticking his head out, staring at me.
Let's see what else we can get.
There's now further there. Oh, there's one on there.
So first suspected female. Oh, come on.
I see another one down there. A little hole. I can just see a leg. You see it there?
Double check. Welcome back, Lee.
I mean, I live with them, but like, I don't like them. You should hear your mum. Whenever you when you think goodness, she's like, it's quite funny.
Yeah, I know. Like, I could legit put a plastic one in it and she'd think it's
Oh, those are big ones there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there's one at the bottom. You got bamboo stages. Cups. Hey, I lifted it. If it comes out, if it's out front, I'm going to you'll be like, nah, I could just. But I'll be like,
I'm just trying to connect from the spiders. I don't know how. I just like
okay,
them.
Spider-Man.
Next thing you know, it's like a bit more
And you know the connection.
mm.
true. But then,
Second suspected female.
so hopefully I don't jump that window.
I'm only
so
saying this because we've got mature males out of it already, so
I'm pretty sure I do it with a bonk, 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 okay? So then, look. No.
What have we got so far? 3, 4, 5.
You still got like 8 more left. Okay, if there's not 8 more left in there.
7, because there's one in that.
Okay, then 8 more. You're done. I've known you guys. I'm making it just leave. Yeah, we close the game.
It's basically checked out the whole thing.
It's gonna dig underground. We'll just pick up that big one. Grab it back. Okay, I think that's all that room. I'm pretty sure they 80% sure they do. How much has it been held together by works?
Another malt.
How long have you left the molds? I'm just waiting for you to now go, oh, go to take out a mold and it's just a spider. But, oh, that's not real. Like, haha, learn from me.
That would be pretty funny.
To you, maybe. Me, I would poo myself.
Oh, must be malts from last put them in there.
Oh, I got you. I'll take a picture of that one there. I'll take a picture of that. Oh, what was that little thing?
A malt.
Oh, there's a little one.
For the last put them originally.
Yeah. I never found that pocket.
Are you in your phone as well? I am. So it's on recording, right?
Oh, I can see 2 more. That's number 6.
Number 6 out of too many.
There's another malt.
Me in there.
I have a feeling that the rest of them are inside this.
How are you going to get in there is a different question.
I did tell you, go right on. They would fall off.
And then it's kind of malt.
Then from. Plastic.
I don't know where it is.
You can lighter.
And it's down fire as well.
I hope you need the toilet because you're going down. Picture of the 10. Yeah, that one background. Yeah, it's a good background. And if you do this thing on my room, I hope you never talk to me.
God, they're already at the building. So,
Which one would be the biggest spider?
Looks like I took a few really dead spiders.
One of those pops over there to go down.
So that's 7.
Took a picture of them.
Pete. Oh, you can look. It's just like,
Come on.
Mum, are you having a spasm attack?
it was just rolling on his hand.
Yeah, he's alright. Tom, you don't really need to rehouse anymore, do you? You really don't. That was so brave.
I should have been recording because of that. So I'm using a stick, so.
Can't go wrong, can you? Pizza and spider night.
It's just luck, isn't it?
7, 10 minutes.
Spider's not really.
So confusing.
Yeah. What?
Another one in your hand.
No.
Wow.
1 month in your hand, you were sending that video to me.
Right there, babe. I see you two are taking to sitting down now.
Yeah.
Don't want to get up and play some personal anymore.
No, just
Get your hat on.
the hat looks good on me.
Evening or afternoon, James and Dan. Probably just Danielle, and afternoon, Moon. Oh, and hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Sorry, I'm preoccupied. See what we've missed on the chat quickly.
My one runs up and I'm looking.
Hey. No, you're put you in, just change it.
It just looks mad. Feels like I'm gathered.
No, I'm basically what's happening is that I've got roughly 18 spread over 3 enclosures, so I'm pulling them apart to take out the mature male I've got, and then they're all going to go into another enclosure. And Steve, the 18 in 17 in total, including the other 2 enclosures.
Funny block again.
Yeah.
I'm just playing that.
Really?
Yeah, I've done fun block.
I play Apex and stuff like that.
Do you play Fortnite?
Yeah.
I can associate with your name. Stop it.
I do play Minecraft.
Play GTA.
No, not that.
Fair enough.
How old are you?
16.
16, and then 10 up to 12.
I've had fun to that, yeah.
I'll come up to 12 in a week.
Birthday for a week time.
And we've got another 2 here.
I can wait until July.
Another 2.
Another 2 to run from Dumpling. What a great pet hole. You told me they're like 2.
That one's small. can get it on camera if you want.
I'm going to do easy. Really hard. And if you get the lid on, so you push it out like one. And there you
Focus.
go. There's 13 in that one. Well,
I'm not even counting how many he's picked up. I can't really
it's going to say 2 minutes.
Come on, don't throw foot poses.
Come on, you're not a big man. I'm a big man.
You're tiny. You're tiny, but when we go
I'm taller than you.
talking spider.
Oh.
Spider's tiny, but when I go, I will not hold you.
It's time.
We have another mature.
Damn, it's a small spider. Let's use them.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There's still 3.
So there should be 3 more left in here still.
We had a pizza. You have another pizza.
Huh?
We had a pizza.
Another malt.
They are right. How would you feel like pick one up and sell them over to you? You wouldn't even bet. How much money for it?
What about £100 now, darling?
Look at that, Riley.
Hey, I said it in the car. I said pick up. It's in the car.
What in full? I'm doing that.
4K Ultra HD.
I thought I'd done that.
So I pick up in the cup, walk
I
over
thought
to you.
No joke, Tom. You should have had a camera in with us watching. And honestly, I literally flipped my hands going. Should have seen her face when it ran up your arm.
Yeah, I didn't see that part because I was walking in the theatre, looked away for a moment, bam, just falling off from the top. Stay in the cup. What if it doesn't stay in the cup?
So there's one more in there.
How many you got so far then?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No, it should be 2 more still left.
2 more, yeah.
There's 2 in there. How do you feel?
But we'll see.
You can like put your hand in there.
There's still a lot of substrate here to go through, so
I literally caught my mum holding spider.
Just go. Please help them.
You know I'm going to send this to my friends.
What?
It'll be so funny.
I'm looking at some of the sizes of these that I've already pulled out. It could be quite a tricky find.
Tom, how are you going to make sure 1,000% you've got every single one? They go for all of that. All of it, yeah.
I think how going through the dirt works.
Did you not see him pick up that massive?
So let me out.
That's probably going to be like that one. Okay. How would you feel if you got a plastic?
There's another one.
It would be fantastic.
I've been cupped here. You put it on my hand.
So ones don't flick hairs, no?
No, they're just like a budget people.
No,
No, they don't.
Tom says pumpkin patches. When they flip hairs, that doesn't really do anything.
You blow it off.
It's rare for you to itch as well.
Oh, really?
No.
Compared to quick hair, you should blow up.
Share Tom's.
I'll be getting them in. And I'll be sticking it in your bed when I'm older.
Oh my God, when you move out, you can have as many as you want.
Yeah, I'll be having 20 and I'll be putting one that I hate in your bed.
You and Tom can be mates and everything.
20, is that it? You think it's at that?
Don't stop at 20. How many have you got? As you say.
191.
Yeah. It just don't stop at one ever.
I confirm with Boris.
She was the one that bought the second two and was looking on the spy shop and come home.
Leave me alone. That's your fault. It is all my fault. I started it anyway, didn't I?
Remember the description of Boris.
Hey, you angel.
Hi, Danielle!
I hear you. Really useful. I hear you. Got good hearing.
So, does that stand for everyone who's on the
I
channel?
think so.
You never just end up on? No. Everyone that's in the chat as well has got more than one.
Yeah, when I do that, I'm just thinking dogs. Three nice dogs.
I don't know what's worse, watching it from here and watching it on TV.
And a group.
Yeah, I think if you can control the situation more, you sit on TV, you don't know what's going to happen. I can't control that. No. I came in at the worst possible time, it was running off his head. I was like, whoa.
No, just a very convenient.
I thought you had a respect to pick one dog.
You're not watching art, are you?
Got a message. So,
God, what's he good at? They look bloody awesome, don't they?
St. Bernard.
Pretty soon next is better than your pizza, Mum.
That's the exact same as her pizza.
yeah, so there should be more somewhere. If it's still alive, that is.
I think it will be.
This is the second type of dog I want to get. St. Bernard.
They're massive.
Stop it, you.
Right, well,
He's trying to knock over his cot.
So, the other one, they're like proper going for it.
These things.
I needed food for the stress. Oh no,
Cool, mate.
They can only from this part where Mum has
it was it. Tom Pope's Dirt Night.
What?
Shouldn't have called it last night in, should have called it Tom Pope's Dirt.
they're massive as well.
I'll get 3 huge dogs.
How many have you caught at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there should be one.
Should be. But like, is that probably not? Time to get the thing.
So I'm missing. Yeah, still got fun. That's one.
It's probably jolly better when someone's distracted.
You're not funny.
It's not jolly. That's why I'm not laughing.
Oh, it's when the pizza.
Hiding under the throne. Let's climb down low. Low. See you later, baby.
Things for you look pretty big, and they don't look like they want to stay in that pot. No, no.
Can you see the pot wiggling?
Yeah, you're trying to knock the pots over.
Okay, how do you balancing things in your head?
Have you had decent sling?
Near enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is. So just over
How long does it take you to get that size then? Just
14 months-ish.
They grow pretty quick then.
They're mature males, so obviously they're about a lot quicker than these. So they're exactly the same. When I got them, they were all the same size.
Yeah. Wow. Big difference. Yeah. Must be doing something good, Tom.
Depends if you find the last one.
If you
He'll not find it. He'll find it.
You've got
Right
like,
to the bottom.
you don't know about how much more dirt to go.
Like,
I feel like that corner that Tom's digging is like a bit more up. I'm coming on that soon. That's gonna be down there.
I reckon it's enough for us.
You look like some ducking. I'll take a handful of dirt out here.
Chance in it, then go on.
Sorry.
I anticipate the last corner.
It's not there.
It's not looking promising.
23 got out. Drum roll.
I really want to get out.
How do you feel when it's not there?
Come on.
Well, I just walked in by it not being there.
Does that now mean you've got to start taking the dirt out bit by bit? Have fun.
You can get out bit by bit. I don't think you'll be able to stay
Got to go hands in.
Would it be near the bottom?
Tom, quickly go out to the shop, buy kiddie shovels.
There is a hole.
Yeah, but he should have just got up there. Like, when you go get like buy a bucket of like a bucket and a spade before. Like, go buy one and
If this
use
is
a
tiny,
spade.
you'd like it small.
Sometimes they get like
Yeah.
little,
They use
Yeah.
it quicker.
but you that break up
Yeah,
all the
but
time.
then you did it and nobody.
Yeah, but if you're like going slow, don't change one up. It's one like blow up. It could be like, hey mate, say hello to the sunshine for me. What it used to be.
Just don't drop it on these ones sitting here, will you?
Oh, Mum, did you say I can have one?
Tom's.
Did they Tom Sweet's gonna go cold? What time is that?
Nice, isn't it?
Mum could bother me. How do you feel?
Yeah,
It's no longer good. Terrible.
Cringy.
Already cringe.
That's that basically in.
I think it's like £10 an hour. But
That's good.
yeah. That's above minimum wage.
Even we've managed to find 11 so far out of the 12.
wasn't meant to be working to anything. We'll find a funny video because I'm bored now. I can't have it too much.
Well,
Oh, I could only imagine how many species that they would have thought was communal back when sort of it all started, if you wish. Yeah, unfortunately, it's looking like we've lost one. But I mean, it's pretty good going, really.
that mole's mum.
But it's funny. If fish can live underwater, then so can I. That's me,
As I say, since it's not really been touched in like 14 months, I think that's pretty good since we've only lost one.
Did you read it? You got read it. You see how bad that guy's date was terrible.
Oh, I know this one.
I'm sure I'll still be here by the time you come back from making a sandwich, Danielle. Well, yeah, their sandwiches is like a doorstop to us, isn't it?
No, this one's so stupid. I'm drunk again. It's just oh, you're right, dude. Yeah, I thought. I really want to see like some things that unsettling. Okay, just don't know. Why'd you laugh?
That's funny. That isn't even a road, so why would there be a car there
No.
going at 50 miles per hour?
With Danielle, I think I've pretty much had exactly the same thing as you tonight then. But I have got a pizza sat there on the bed ready for whenever I wanted it.
Oh, you've got eye sacks now.
say that does look like this one.
I think that's one of the videos. That's all the ones my sent me. I got none of them.
Oh, do you have WhatsApp?
I do.
What's your number? What's your name, Riley?
So sadly, it looks like we've lost one, but what we'll do is we will pop that to one side with just a piece of cork bark in it. And that one then can sit over to one side. I mean, some of you obviously have been watching the live streams where I've mentioned that I wanted to do something for the balfs once I did rehouse them and move them. So, I mean, if you've also been watching the live, you might have seen behind me that I've had something covered over for a couple of weeks now.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Yeah, but that is
And so,
yeah, it's coming up.
what we do
So, because I don't update it.
is we'll bring the tank over and show you what we've got.
I can't contact on Messenger. It's text, so it's going to have to be WhatsApp.
One missing on there. Oh dear.
Oh, do you want cut out?
There's a proper delay on that. I planned on putting them in there.
Oh, I like that.
Because they're in the pots. Are they all secure?
Mum, do you want me to?
Will be, hold on. I mean, they are, but yeah.
Well, they will.
No,
be.
they are.
They are, yeah.
They are. Definitely.
Oh my god. Be brave, baby, be brave.
Okay.
You've got this.
I have full belief in you.
Even though
I
there's.
told you one got that one.
Yeah, even though one got
How many did you get?
11.
That's 12.
I was meant to be 12.
And you're right
Wow.
next.
That's
So
all
that
right.
one could have got out.
No,
Well,
It's already
shut
there.
up. Don't wind your mother up, you.
that's a lot. They're not small.
Riley. Don't be an ass. Oh, sorry.
Well, it depends if you're
Right.
looking at the
Gotta do
small
pretty
ones
good,
that were
yeah.
over there.
Sleep.
Because it sounds
I'll turn it off.
I'll do it quickly. Oh,
Tom.
Tom. Yeah, be.
We added chilies.
Too late, Mum.
You'll freak her out. She's like,
if it now wants to. Doesn't. Your phone's.
you're going to try and put it there. Sorry.
My phone don't like it.
You know what you want to ask Santa Claus for Christmas now, don't you? The malts. Yeah.
Mm.
As soon as I get home,
It's horrible.
I'm ready to want to get out, doesn't it?
Uh,
To this one.
I'm sure.
Stand it that
Oh.
side. Yeah.
So what we've got set up for it is this. And then this cork tube that's here then actually goes all the way down into the back corner. So it should give them plenty of places to hide and run. And there's a nice bit of log there that there's plenty of anchor points for them to web up on. And of course, we've put in the real badger skull as well. So hopefully, they should like it.
I did turn the heating off.
I'm trying to get the best angle for you guys.
Put them all into that. Will you be putting smaller ones on top in bigger ones?
Yeah, all of these.
Why don't the bigger ones be the smaller ones?
There's a risk.
You know that little one? Can't just give it its own little one. I'll feel really bad for it if it does get eaten. That one can be called Madame. Alright? I feel mad because look, out of all of them, it's all on its own.
That is quite small, isn't it? That'd be fun.
So we're going all the way from sizes that are only about 3 centimetre, 4 centimetre maybe, all the way up to close to, I don't know, 4.5 inch, I suppose.
You're going to be able to put them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a camera.
Yeah. And we do exactly the same as how we took them out. We go from smallest to biggest and see what happens.
You can come out because Theo could be watching this and we'll wait for
Tom, this is gonna be fun.
I feel sorry for Madame.
You're going to put the littlest one in first? Oh no!
So mean.
Yes, and then she can find her own feet first. She'll know. And she can go and hide first and run away from you.
And there she. Oh, here he goes.
I can't even see it anymore.
It's literally right underneath this.
Oh, yeah, so.
There we go. Next to biggest.
Don't mind when the little one's going in.
I'm not quite sure
Put your frame around the side.
how well you're seeing this.
Go down. That's better. Yeah, that's better.
And then we'll move on to these.
Your mum, look, it's right there.
Removing one of the bigger ones.
Tom, how big were these ones?
A 6-inch. About the same size as give or take.
No.
So as you can see as well, I've nicked the enclosure design from like the European design enclosures, but I've bought all the glass myself and I've put it all together. So this is from scratch.
Yeah, she had that in the room.
Tommy, do you still know the lids off that yet? Yeah, he does. Female, male?
Yeah, female, like carapace.
Like carpet. The top of it.
What males have done? Yeah, he's working his way round to get out, mate, that one.
I don't think that one.
So thankfully, that's run a bit smoother than I planned.
I think it did, apart from the sound issues to start with.
Wait a minute. We expect it to be worse. That's why we've got an invitation to come round.
No. No.
I'll just top up the water dish quickly. Hello, Ian. Sorry.
Evening. You alright?
Yeah, not too bad.
Looks good, mate.
I've sort of for the been hiding it a little from wanting people to see the full enclosure before I put everything in it. What we'll do.
Why not?
Okay. I don't know, it seems like it's now starting to lag a little bit on the laptop. I don't know if that's just my... I was going to kill that camera. It's a bit starting to...
What size is it, mate?
So yeah, I must admit, I think that ran a bit smoother than what I thought it was going to. It's roughly the same sort of size as the Habitat. Or
Ah, looks good, mate. Looks really nice. You're on mute, though.
yeah, move
There you
it
go.
on there. My bad. Turn it down just a little bit. Right, there we go.
You could probably connect your Bluetooth now, but if you push that over there, you could put that down.
Yes,
Look at your
miss.
pizza, right?
But yeah, I mean, I'll obviously get some better pictures up on Facebook in a bit, and once I end the stream. That's better.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's looking good, mate. Do like it.
Yeah,
You say you made it yourself as well, yeah?
sorry.
You say you made it yourself?
Yeah, I obviously gave all the dimensions to a glass cutter. He cut it all for me, and I've obviously it's the same style as like the European ones, but
Yeah.
I've obviously sort of copied it and just basically done what Tropical Factory do, and you give him the dimensions, and he then just builds you an enclosure and sends it to you.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sort of thinking about going down that road now with just getting all my own glass and building
Does
the
it work? How much
enclosure.
cheaper is it? Or
Depends on where you go for your glass. I mean, I went to somewhere originally, and I've been told now by another glass company that you can't actually get 5 mil thickness in this country. But
right.
all the enclosure apart from the doors is all 5 mil thick.
Yeah.
So I've actually paid quite a bit more for the outside glass than the doors. But now that I've found someone that's cheaper than the guy that I got on the outside glass, I'm now going to go all 4 mil thickness all the time.
Yeah, mine looks like it's 4 mil.
Yeah, so whether or not it was true what he was saying or not, I don't know. But I've just, because obviously I wanted 5 mil because it runs in the tracks.
Yeah.
And the tracks are obviously like 6 mil and they take 5 mil.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be quite tight in there, sort of thing. So you only actually had the plastic runner between the two plates of glass.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, then when I spoke to someone else, they said that they don't do 5 mil in this country. But as I say, but for some reason, the rest of the enclosure that I got the glass from someone else, they've done me 5 mil thickness. But it was, I mean, to be honest, with the price of it at 5 mil that I paid quite a lot for it.
Yeah.
But now that I've found someone that I can get it from, the 4 mil, if I was to do this enclosure, I mean, everything all in to build this, it would have probably cost me, I don't know, 35 quid.
Nice. Yeah. That's a big saving then, yeah.
So, but I mean, I paid basically 70 quid for it as it is now, because obviously I paid the extra for
the 5 mil, yeah.
Yeah. Which if I'd realised and known that it was going to be that much of a price difference between the mill and not knowing that you can't get it in this country, I wouldn't have bothered and just gone straight 4 mil with everything.
Yeah.
But I know for next time, you learn
Exactly,
from these mistakes.
Yeah, it's all learning curve, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. So.
Well, considering my other one that's up here, that's slightly bigger than the 45-60 Exoterras, it's basically between the 12 by 12 by 18 and the bigger one.
That one, yeah?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's a 45-60. That's a 30-45.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've built one up here, this one here, which, I mean, I built that one, how long ago, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
So, I am going back a little while now from when I built it, but that one only cost me about 40 quid in glass. So when I built this one, I thought, it's only about half the size of that, but obviously forgetting the inflation on costs and stuff.
Yeah.
Considering that was 5 mil thick as well, because I got it from the same guy that I got this lot from.
Yeah.
Before
so I paid. I got my.
Did you? Okay, cool.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
He's turned around and said to me, it's made me want tarantulas more.
What would the chat say to persuade his mum to get one?
There you go, Ian. What would you try and say, or what would you say to persuade someone's mother to let them have a tarantula?
I'll take it they're not a fan of spiders then.
She's not, no.
Petrified.
Yeah. See, you'd be surprised the amount of people in the hobby that buy their first tarantula to get over their fear of spiders.
This little man really
This
wants
is-
one.
You know, and there's
Oh.
some
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
fantastic beginner species that you can get.
Yeah, he quite
Mhm.
likes the look of, what is it? Pumpkin patch.
Yeah, pumpkin patch.
Mm-hmm.
If
We
we
can
turn the
swap it,
camera
yeah.
around, his mum's not looking too happy.
Yeah, you got. I don't know if you can see that one there.
Mm.
That's just your red knee.
Brachypelma humori, red knee.
Look at your face light up, little man. Give me my credit though to Ian, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been for the last 3 years trying my hardest to face my fears, haven't I? To support him.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah. Done well. Done well. I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And
you
you've
know,
been able
plenty
to
of
stand in the
information out there.
door.
And,
They're all in though. I was
But
going to Facebook Live
This
earlier.
is what I was trying to say was, Hamori, I've shown him my little juvie that we've got down there as well.
yeah. I mean, this is a sub-adult male. I mean, he's calm as you like. I've had him on my hands a few times. He's really docile. I've got a female as well, so I'm just waiting for this one to mature.
But they do not recommend handling.
And
Not particularly. No, you don't need to. You can keep them in their enclosures. You know, even when you transport them from one enclosure to the other, you don't need to handle them. You know, it's they are kind of recommended as a hands-off pet. Kind of like you treat it as a fish, kind of
I
thing.
like
So,
Ian. I like Ian a lot. Thank you, Ian.
Well, I wouldn't handle them all the time anyway. I'd
Mm.
only handle them if they're like trying to jump out or something.
No,
I don't wanna
that's
jump
when we
and
call
fall.
Tom, don't we? That's if you ever get that far. I would be running around here. Yeah, it's a long way. But yeah.
And give me a piggyback back.
no, what I recommend is do a bit of research. Obviously, don't watch anything like Exotic Slayer or anything like that, where he dramatises everything.
Who's your
And,
favourite YouTuber then?
Exactly.
He's
Yeah.
still quite new to the YouTube side
Yeah.
of things with it. You know, it's unfortunately Exotic Slayer as well is one of them things that you type in tarantula and generally
He's gonna
he's
be
one
up
of the
first,
first
yeah.
ones
It's quite fun.
because of the amount of views and stuff that he's got. So
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's not always the best one to follow, but you know, watch them all.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. He does get a lot of people into the hobby, but you know, they start trying to copy him and stuff like that. It's not it's not the best. You start seeing these videos on like TikTok and everything of people putting them in their mouths and
Yeah, don't do
all
that.
over their face when it's not really the best thing to do.
That's all right then. This is a good thing. Is there anything you would advise for me as being phobic, but still trying to support him in his passion, which I have tried to get him into liking snakes instead? It hasn't worked. How would you advise me to carry on supporting him?
It's a difficult question, because without knowing you, I don't know obviously the situation, but I work in a reptile shop, so I get people coming in all the time asking about, I'm scared of spiders, what do I do? And to be honest with you, they're one of the easiest animals you can care for, because you don't have to clean them out, you don't have to do anything. If you buy like an adult, you can buy it with the enclosure, so you never have to rehouse it. So there's no chance of it kind of escaping or anything like that.
that also depends on species, though, because if you've got a damp fossorial Asian,
But you wouldn't be purchasing one of those.
No, but no, you are right.
Yeah.
If you would go with like a brachypelma or something, then your dry substrate.
Yeah, your chances of getting any sort of like mold or anything in the enclosures are quite slim. So I would,
Fantastic.
And it's like, Steve said it earlier as well. I'll read his comment wherever it is. Definitely get one. Don't take up much room. They're easy to look after and something different.
Yeah, definitely. They don't necessarily require like a lot of heat. So I mean, I spend a fortune on mine because I've got them in my shed, so I've got to keep the shed.
One
heated, but
question: do you require a heat mat for a spider?
you don't particularly
No.
need one.
See,
When we went to the shop, wasn't it, one of our local ones, just to have a look, and they were like, "Oh, you'll need a heat mat," and I was like, "What, for a tarantula?" And they were like, "Yeah, you'll definitely need a heat mat if you ever wanted one."
No, if you've got one, if your room temperature is comfortable, then if you've got a cold drafty house, then maybe you think about something like that. But if majority of people got like double glazed windows and central heating, then that is absolutely fine.
Fantastic.
Some people say you need like a heat light as well, like a lamp over the top of them or stuff like that, but that's all nonsense. I've got heat mats on a couple of mine, I admit, but like I say, I've got mine in a shed, so I've got to keep this shed.
that's where mine should be, in a shed. Ian, come and build me a shed, please.
This one, but I mean, I don't know if you can see, I've got.
It's looking pretty awesome, actually.
It's getting there, yeah. I've got a lot of work to do still, but it's getting there.
Ooh. Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Are you ready to go then, mate?
There's plenty of plenty of research
way.
to be done, and
Yeah, thank you.
it's all right.
He's got to get going off home, so
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
that's all right. No worries.
Thanks, Tom, for encouraging him even more.
That's all right.
Thanks,
You're more
guys.
than welcome.
Enjoy your pizza.
Yeah, I'll get round to that in a bit. Honestly, I've got pizza set over there, so. But yeah, obviously she's brought her son round today just to come and watch and get a bit more information and just to enjoy himself with it, basically.
Exactly. That's what. Even if he was to come around, every so often just to see and help out, and he can show maybe his mum how, or you can show him how certain things are done, and it can give her a bit of confidence and to know that he would know how to do it responsibly, kind of thing. So,
well, that's why I've done it. I've sort of jumped in at the deep end with him with this, obviously, but then it's that whole saying, isn't it? I know that old worlds do have a bit of a bad reputation, but some of them get a little bit more of a bad reputation than what they should. In some respects. I mean, I know that a lot of people say that generally communal, balfs are a bit easier to work with than solo ones. But I mean, obviously, I don't know because I've never really dealt with a solo balf.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of adult females, and they hate me. Literally, one of them, I would walk past the enclosure. She'll come charging out of her burrow up to the glass like that at me. But all I do is walk past.
No, I had that with my hattie the other night. Walked past, and it was just like, I'm not even touching you. I'm not even. No. So
Was it 11 out of 12 then?
It was 12 out of 13 because I'd
12
already.
out of 13.
Yeah, because I'd already pulled a mature male.
Oh yeah,
out.
of course, yeah.
So yeah, there was obviously 12 still left in there, but 11 out of 12.
Yeah, it's not bad going at all.
And as I say, considering I've had them from literally 2 centimeters in that enclosure, that I haven't touched it other than feeding and watering, and they've been in there for, as I say, roughly 14-ish months, I think.
Yeah. I've just chucked a load of hoppers into mine and just watching a couple of them. There was about 4 or 5 of them just squabbling over the one hopper. Even though there's like 3 or 4 other hoppers around, they all wanted the same one.
I'd done it with that enclosure, obviously, when they were all in there. After about, I don't know, 3 months, something like that, having them in there, I thought I'd throw in a load of Morio worms because I mean there was like 13 of them. I thought, oh, you know, 13, they're all going to be roughly like 4 centimeters maybe by this point. You know, some of them have molted, some of them have. I thought, right, I'll just throw in like 4 Morio worms, obviously crushed heads, so they can literally just sit there on top of the webbing, and that's it. I thought, right, great. 3 of them, that was it. There was 3 worms, nothing. This one worm, there was like 6 or 7 of them on.
Yeah.
I thought, you're bundling up just for one worm, but there's plenty of it there.
Yeah. I've had it. I had it before. I think it's my original communal I had. There was two of the females were fighting over the one cricket. The other one kind of like kicked the other one away. It was quite funny to watch. I think I had a clip on my channel somewhere. But the other one in the end conceded, and kind of it was like it went off on a strop, because I tried feeding it another cricket and it didn't want to know. It wanted the cricket that the other spider had, and that was it. It kind of threw its toys out the pram because it wanted that one. Yeah, strange creatures, really are.
Nice. Well, that's it. You think you've kind of got it sus sometimes, and yet all of a sudden what you think you know is not what you know. Well, I'm sure there'll be some mature males being pulled out of here at some point. So
yeah, I've pulled one out of mine. I saw another one in there as well, but I haven't managed to catch that one yet. It took me 2 weeks to catch the first one.
I know that was the problem with this. This is why I wanted to sort of, because as I say, I mean, there's one that sort of looked a lot slimmer than what I did think it was, I must admit.
Yeah.
But whether or not that's because it's ended up eating the last one that was in there or something, I don't know.
If I bring
that obviously gives 5 mature males out of that enclosure now.
Yeah. So if I bring it round, if you see sort of like here, behind here, that's where they all congregate.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few sort of like out down here at the moment. There's about 3 or 4 out down there. Just currently having some food. But yeah, with
the old enclosure that I had them in, it was an old fish tank that I literally makeshifted. Yeah, you know. So any time you'd like, I'd bring it over, put it on the table, think, right, great, I can see like 3. Okay, put it on the table, and then one would dart, and I'm thinking, right, there's still like 2 left out. That's fine. I got, you know, 1 out of 2. Right, lift lid, boom, and gone. And I think,
yeah.
But that was the problem, that, you know, as in same with yours. Obviously, there's so many different tunnels that they can just run down and hide. And
yeah, well, all under the substrate, there's multiple cork tubes as well, so they've got plenty of underground hiding spaces that they can go.
Yeah, that was
literally all along as well. You know, this is quite a big enclosure. It's what, 75 centimeters long, so it's like 3/4 of a meter. Yeah, that's definitely a good size.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't plan on getting any more balf, so like the size of my enclosure, I thought was quite a fair size in all aspects of things. Yeah. Considering there's only going to be probably like 8, maybe 9 of them living in there eventually by the time the other sort of 5, maybe 6 mature out to then find out what they are.
You see one climbing along the door. So how many mature males did you have in there?
4 and 5,
4.
sorry.
5. Yeah. Have you put them in there, or are you keeping them out?
No, they're all separated, and because I've got 1 going off to someone, 1 going off to Side X, and then I've acquired myself a adult female balf.
Yeah.
So I'll probably keep hold of 1 for myself. And then I've got 2 more that are up for grabs, basically.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, they'll get packaged up and sent out next week.
Yeah. So I've got two in this one here, this Exo Tower. There's two females in there. There was a mature male, but I haven't seen him for a little while now, so I think he's passed. He was quite old. I'm debating whether to actually separate these two, because there was a trio originally of 3 females. I bred them, or paired them sort of like multiple times and didn't get anything. I took one female out pretty much like a couple of weeks after I rehoused her solo. She molted out, and then I paired her, and then she's had the sack. So, you know, and I've got the boom, 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 boom. So the babies are currently that size. But the other 2 haven't done anything, so I'm debating whether to separate those 2. Have a better chance of breeding them too, because eventually I want to get them to breed in there rather than that's the end game. That is.
That's one thing I haven't heard yet. Do we know of anyone that's actually bred and actually had a successful sack in a community?
Yeah, there's been a couple of people. Yeah, and there's a guy, I don't know where he's from, but his name in the Facebook, the Balfouri group is Rick.
Oh right.
Yeah, he's had a few actually that have bred in communals, and there's a European guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's had I think there was about 5 females, I think there was in his one, and he got a successful breeding out of those. So that's something, yeah, like I say, was that male there? It is. Just spotted the other male. He's come out a little bit, so I might grab him in a sec. Yeah, that's the way I've kind of designed this one, gone bigger with less in it, in the hope that they'll have a bit more room to possibly kind of like a female to go off and have a bit of kind of peace and quiet from everything else. And I thought I'd try something different, you know, because people say keeping them quite close together, where I've gone the opposite, give them a lot of space, and they seem to be doing fine. So, you know, there's 3 different communals all gone into one of various different sizes, and I've seen all 3 sizes still in there, you know. So
well, that's what I wanted to do with this one. It weren't so much that I wanted to go sort of massive, but I wanted to go big enough to give that sort of.
What you got there is perfect for like you say, for about 8, 10.
And then you know, by the time they all do mature out and stuff, the only thing that I wanted to do with this that I didn't end up doing, on the backside where this cork tube at the front here goes all the way down into the back corner, I wanted to get another round, cut it in half, and press it up against the back part of the glass, so that basically then they had a tunnel to go down to, and then already had a tunnel dug out for them, if you wish.
Yeah.
And then it also gave me like a little bit of a viewing area before they ended up doing whatever they wanted to do to it.
Yeah. I tried that in the Habisphere that I rehoused my slings that I bred last year in, and I put a half tube at the back so that I could see in, but when I went to have a look, all the substrate must have still made its way through, and I can't see anything in the back at all. So yeah, that kind of backfired a bit.
No, Tyler, they'll do perfectly fine on their own. Right, there's no real reason if you don't want to keep a communal of them, you don't have to keep a communal. I mean, I only actually started a communal because I bought one from Creatures from the North, but I ended up spending, I think it was like 180, 190 quid or something. And he sent me 2 freebies of balfs and said, hope you enjoy the communal. So I literally thought, you know what? I put them 3 together as a communal. they were doing all right, and it was only because Tropical Factory done me a deal on 10. I mean, obviously the deal was like for everyone. It weren't me personally, but whatever it was, I can't remember now. And so I ended up buying 10 and ended up putting the 13 together.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I mean,
the other ones, obviously, I won from Jaden's 500 subscriber giveaway, and the other 5, then I won from the Balfury raffle. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, otherwise I probably wouldn't ended up with 20 as a communal. I probably would have just stayed with the 3 that I had and just grew them up. But there's nothing to say that they weren't 3 mature or would have turned out to be 3 mature males.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely nothing different about keeping them solo. I mean, I know quite a few people that keep them solo. The thing you've got to remember is you probably won't see it so often as you would a communal, because where you've got so many in there, you're guaranteed generally to see 1 or 2 out if you've got a large communal. But that's part and parcel. At the end of the day, they're a subterrestrial spider, and they will generally hide away quite a lot. So I think
that's what I mean. Admittedly, even when I had my first 3 slings at roughly the 2 centimetre mark, believe it or not, I was seeing all 3 of them out on quite a regular sort of basis.
Yeah.
But whether or not it was because there was the 3 of them in there or not, I don't know. But yeah, for what I thought of, obviously there was more times that you'd only see maybe 1 out, but there'd be the odd occasion or quite a few occasions that you'd sort of go to do your feed-ins, wander around and have a quick look. I mean, obviously when you go and pick it up, they're going to dart, but if you left it on the shelf there, you could generally see like 2 or 3 of them out. But it's like you say, if you've only got the 1, then I mean, it's like the female that I've got. She's in a 30 cube at the minute on her own, and she's literally webbed 1 little corner, and that is where she stays. I do not see her out and about at all.
Yeah, like I say, the 2 females that I've got in here, I don't know if you'll be able to see because it's quite dark in there. But there's hardly any webbing at all. Literally round the cork tube.
Yeah.
And a little bit on the opposite side. And that's it. I had kind of like all these branches in there and everything for them to web to, and they never did. So I ended up taking them out because they were just being wasted in there. And I think I put them in the little communal of the slings that I bred in the Habersphere here. And they've made work of it. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Obviously, where I knew that I was putting less into this one, I've given the anchor points for webbing and stuff, but I haven't gone to the extreme that I did with the original one because I knew that there was going to be more in there. So I knew that you'd end up just with like that complete web mat all the way across. Whereas obviously, yeah, you are going to get that webbing probably off of a couple, but not like you would with 10, 20, even 50, say, for instance.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, well, I've given enough just for anchor points and that they can do a bit of webbing, but I'm also hoping that they spend like a lot of time down in the tube and digging down there rather than.
Yeah, I mean, I've had mine in there. I can't remember when I put them in. That's part of a year now, at least. And they're still dig now. I still every now and again I see sort of like fresh substrate being dug out. It's like as they grow, they probably need to make a little bit more space. And I'm constantly seeing more holes being dug.
He forgot his coat and wanted to rob a tarantula to go home with. Bless him. Not bad, babe. Done well. You're putting a peg in that glass, though, aren't you, to stop it from sliding? Just asking.
They ain't going to move that.
It's not for them, it's for my own peace of mind. Get it.
Full centimetre and 8x8 x Exeter. It's read that quite well. Web tunnels.
But I think it also, that comes down to that whole space thing as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you've said, you've gone like huge on your big one. And obviously you've got quite a lot of webbing going on, but you know, and then you look over to say, you know, your one on your right there with your two balfs in, you've given not huge amounts of space, but you've still given enough that if they wanted to do webbing, and like you say, all they've done basically is just done them two.
Yeah, they dug down and that's it. You know, they rather live under the ground than web up, because there was originally 5 in there a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, and 2 matured males into males, and you know they're long gone now, and I've got the 3 females left, and you know, even when there was 5 in there was hardly any webbing at all. Literally, they dug out this side, and the substrate they put to the door, nearly to the roof. They just literally burrowed it out, and just this every day I'd see this, like the substrate on the door literally rise and rise and rise. That's why I've always kind of then, you know, always given them plenty of room to dig, you know, because people say, oh, they don't need a lot of substrate, but I think that's incorrect.
I mean, that's the same as me. I mean, I've gone. I mean, I don't know how well you can sort of see, but like at the front here, like we're roughly sort of 4 inches ish, and then it obviously gradients all the way up to the back, and then comes up to about 6 inches.
Yeah, that's perfect. That is, yeah. I think that's kind of similar to what I've got in this one. Although the back has kind of, I think as the cocoa fiber's dried, the back's kind of flattened down a little bit where it was before. It like I say, it did gradient up towards the back, but now it's all compact down where it's all dried out.
Yeah, with this one, I've sort of had substrate dry and down underneath the bench for quite a while. So when I put it in there, it was like bone dry, and all I've done is just moistened it just a little bit while it was in there, just to raise it a little bit. But but then it's also a mixture of all sorts. I've got like sand. I've got bits of rotting wood in here, leaf litter, cocoa fiber, topsoil. So it's a whole mixture of stuff for them. So even when I compacted it down, it doesn't actually like compact as if like you're compacting, say, cocoa fiber down.
Yeah.
Because where it is airy, I press down on it and it sort of just springs back almost. And it's the same sort of substrate now that I'm basically using for everything, like even my pokies, where obviously you know you got to mist them down like whatever, say twice a week, depending on obviously size of enclosure and stuff like that. And I find that it works quite well when it just sort of, you end up finding that the top layer of substrate sort of just stays that sort of drier side, and then as you get down through
down
the soil,
deeper, it gets wet. It gets dampened.
So, I mean, it's working reasonably well so far. I mean, I've only been using it sort of for about 6 months, 8 months, something like that now. But I've not seen any sort of breaks of mold or any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I've kind of like experimented with a few different things, but I still haven't found that kind of perfect mixture yet. Cocoa fibre is nice, but like you say, like keeping them. Here he is.
Hey, it's James. Good evening, young man.
You run the risk it molds quite easy, cocoa fibre.
Yeah.
Topsoil's good. It doesn't mold so easy, but it gets heavy. So if you've got a lot of substrate, I've got a big custom made enclosure down here ready to go from a king baboon.
Yeah.
And it's got probably about that much substrate in it, probably about 8 to 10 inches, and the enclosure weighs like nearly 24 kilos. Yeah, it's a big square tall enclosure. It's heavy.
Well, James, they are all. I found 11 out of the 12 that were in the big communal, and 3 out of the other one, and 2 out of the other one, and they're all in here.
So Wyvern Stronghold, do you think 30-30 cubes are best for terrestrial and 30-30-45s for arboreal? Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good size for yeah. I mean,
you can even get away with using a 30-30-30 for arboreal as well.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I know that there was a big debate once on Facebook that I saw in one of the groups. They go, no, you can't use a 30 cube for an arboreal. And I said, well, why can't you? They said,
you can use a 20-20-30.
Yeah, I said, but you use a 20-20-30, as an arboreal setup. So what's the difference? They went, yeah, but it's a terrestrial setup. I said, so you're basically saying that, if it was a smaller terrestrial, then you could use the 20-20-30. Yeah.
Some people seem to overthink it, don't they? It's not the actual enclosure itself; it's how you set it up. You can set it up terrestrial, you can set it up arboreal, you can even set it up for saurial, like I've done with a balfouri here. Like it literally goes, the substrate goes 3/4 of the way up at the back, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of people. I mean, I've got plenty of these 20-20-30s around that I've got, like my adult female Cambridge eye in. She's doing perfectly fine in there. I've got 2 large regaluses in one, or obviously in 2. I've got my adult female Tigral Waselli in one, and she's doing great.
Yeah, I've got all my pokies in 20-20-30s, barring the regalis, which I've got in the 30-30-45 here, because she's in with a male at the moment. So I've given him the bigger bit of space so that he can cohabit. He's been in there for a couple of months now with her, and he's up in the corner at the moment. He's doing well, bless him. I ain't seen any pairings yet, but I've seen them out together, so fingers crossed. She's ate the last 2 males that were in with her, so once she's finished with them.
Yeah. That's it. Like you say, I think people just sometimes overthink things, and just everyone's just so used to seeing terrestrials in the 30 cubes that instantly, as soon as people think about it, they're like, no, it cannot be done.
Yeah.
And then just don't think about that height.
Exactly. It's no different to a 20-20-30, is it? So it's the same height. Yeah, I've seen him eating a couple of times. So he's still quite skinny, but I think the first one she got kind of annoyed because she was really, really receptive to him. He would drum like anything, and she would be literally right up for it. But as soon as she got close to him, he would scarp her. Every time, I had a time lapse going all night, and she's there literally following him around the enclosure all night, drumming away to him. and nothing. So I think in the end she got a bit fed up with him, so I had him for dinner. And the second one, I think he was quite old, so I didn't see any parents. But then she molted out, so but I managed to catch a fresh, mature male just as she molted out after that. So fingers crossed this time lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few pokies paired up at the moment, so if you want to try and crack next year. So yeah, I've done a few sort of like baboons, and now I want to do a few pokies.
Yeah. The only pokey that I've got at breeding size is the Tigrosselli.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got
Everything
another
else
female.
is.
She's lovely. She is.
I mean, my one's such a little softy, really. Anytime that I've like moved her and done bits with her, it's just like, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You just think to yourself, you know, that ain't pokey. But
Yeah, to be fair, most of I've never had any issues with rehousing any of mine. I find that doing the method that I do, using the bottle, I've never had any problems, and generally they're usually just quite stubborn, and they're just kind of just stay in one spot and won't move.
yeah, I mean, I moved one of my little sort of grown on slings, if you wish, Metallicas the other week. And I think it was just that he thought it was feeding day. Sort of, I went in with the paintbrush to sort of, and all of a sudden it was like, bah. But he latched on, realised that it wasn't food, and then just moved on and done what I wanted it to do.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a few pokey little slings as well that I picked up at the last show. But they're going to be interesting when they rehouse because they're really fast. Because they're only sort of like this small. They bolt around those little enclosures like anything. Can't afford to lose them in here really because there's a lot of places they can hide. Especially at the moment because it's like a shithole in here. So
yeah, well, that's why I quite like the ones that I got from Tarantula Room when I went there, because he does them in sort of like quite big. These things, they're the old tamper-proof ones.
yeah, that's what I've got them in at the moment.
And all I did with them was literally.
So I haven't even put a cork bark in there yet because I've opened it up and it just bolt out. So
that's all I'd done. I just chucked a bit of cork bark in there, a little bit of moss, and you know, I thought, well, no point in rehousing them just yet because.
Yeah, no, they're fine in those. So yeah, and I've got the other one. So that's the Honey Sumavilica, whatever you pronounce it.
Yeah, I picked up 3 of them and picked 3 of the Smithies from him.
Yeah, did you get them off Christoph, did you?
Yeah,
I got them off of him. There's 2 I didn't have, but still got a couple more now to collect. Unfortunately, I just lost an adult female fasciata. She was massive, but I think she had impaction, and in the end, just her abdomen ruptured, and yes, there's nothing I could do. Absolutely devastated with that.
Yeah, that's the only one that I don't own.
Yeah, she was a big girl. She was bigger than my Regalis.
And they say Rufilata and Ornatas are generally the bigger ones.
I don't know if you can. Yeah, she was
all right, yeah.
Yeah, she was huge, but yeah, unfortunately, I just saw her. She was a bit kind of. She didn't look right in her enclosure, and I kept it. on the damper side because just in case she was coming to a molt or something like that. But then I was like, I haven't seen any sort of like crap on the glass for a little while, and her abdomen was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and she was getting really lethargic. So I managed to get her out. I picked her up because she just wasn't, she was very like unresponsive. So I picked her up and like got a nice sort of like lukewarm cotton bud and just rubbed it on her abdomen along the back. And, just tried giving it a little squeeze just to see if anything would come out, but absolutely nothing would come out. So she looked like she's just jam solid, and and unfortunately she didn't make it. But yeah, a bit devastating really, because she was a beautiful spider. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that happens with them, and there's nothing you can do.
No, there isn't. And even generally, if you do get them over the impaction stage, it's sort of, it's always one of them tricky things, because they've now all of a sudden just had that sort of big bowel movement, if you wish, and then it doesn't end up boding too well for them.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's not to say that it happens like that all the time, but a lot of the stories
kind of makes you doubt yourself. What have you done? Was she too dry, or what? But I've always kept him on. All my pokies on the humid side because of that.
Yeah.
So it's it does seem to happen quite often with them, and there's no explanation why. So. One of those things, mate.
Yeah. Right. I think I'm going to call it for the evening, because I'm obviously going to go put these mature males into something as well.
Yeah. Take some pics, mate, of it and chuck it on the group.
I haven't even sorted anything out for these males because I didn't know actually how many there were. So it's like, I'll just deal with it later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be taking some photos in a minute, and I'll stick it up on the Balf Fury group.
Nice.
Right. But yeah, cheers for coming on and joining us. For the
no worries, mate. No problem.
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure Angel's friend will be going home and thinking about all the advice that you've thrown out there for them. And she'll still be going, no, you're not having one. No, you're not having one. But I'm thinking about it. No, you're not having one.
Yeah. She must be to ask the questions. So.
Well, some people are quite intrigued about things, and like she said, she has watched stuff, so there's worse things.
Absolutely.
Right. I'll get off.
All right, mate.
And I'll go eat my pizza and stuff. Right.
Enjoy.
Thank you to everyone that's made it through to this part of the evening with us. Because apparently there's still 5 people in the chat, so I don't. Yeah. Oh, Tyler's still here. Yeah, and you'll be seeing the lads' night in next Tuesday as usual. This was just a bit of an unplanned thing.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you to everyone, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.